Hey, what's up? This is JJ, and this is a lesson on the 5 shapes of the major pentatonic scale. One of the most popular videos on my channel is the lesson on the minor pentatonic scale, and there have been a lot of requests for this video, so here it is. Enjoy. Now, the pentatonic scale is loved by many guitar players because it only consists of 5 notes, and since the guitar is such a pattern-based instrument, those 5 notes can be found all over the neck, and all sorts of patterns occur when you know your way around the fretboard, so it's really easy to memorize these scales. Now, the major pentatonic scale consists of 5 notes, and I'll be playing in the key of G for this demo, and the reason for that is that the major pentatonic scales, the boxes, the shapes of the major pentatonic scale in the key of G are actually the same as the minor pentatonic scale in the key of E. So E minor is a relative minor to G major. I will get into that later on in this video and explain to you how that works. So basically there's a shortcut. If you know all of the 5 boxes of the minor pentatonic scale, then basically you already know what I'm about to teach you, the major pentatonic scale. So I'll be playing in the key of G, and the pentatonic scale in the key of G consists of 5 notes, and those notes are G, A, B, D, and E. And now I'll show you position 1 of the major pentatonic scale in the key of G major. Here we go. First I'll play all of the notes in position 1, and then I'll break it down for you. Okay, that's G on the E string on the 3rd fret, A on the 5th fret of the E string, B on the 2nd fret of the A string, D on the 5th fret of the A string, E on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then the octave G on the 5th fret of the D string. Here's the 2nd octave. Then there's another A on the 2nd fret of the G string, B on the 4th fret of the G string, D on the 3rd fret of the B string, E on the 5th fret of the B string. There's a G, 2nd octave, on the 3rd fret of the E string, and then A also gets to play along, is on the 5th fret of the E string. If that went too fast for you, I highly recommend you pause and rewind until you get it down before moving on to the next position. Now, in order to move to the next position of the major pentatonic scale, I'm going to apply a little trick. As I said in the intro, there are 5 notes in the major pentatonic scale. In the key of G, those notes are G, A, B, D, and E. And all I have to do to recognize the starting points of the 5 positions is just play all of those notes on the E string. Right? So that's G, A, B, D, E, and then here's the octave, G again. Alright? So those are all of the starting points for the position. So position 1 started on the 3rd fret. Position 2 is going to start on the 5th fret. Now I'll break it down. So let's start off with the A on the 5th fret of the E string, B 7th fret of the E string, D 5th fret of the A string, E 7th fret of the A string, G, that's the octave, on the 5th fret of the D string, A on the 7th fret of the D string. Then there is the B on the 4th fret of the G string, Now there's D, 7th fret on the G string. There's E, 5th fret on the B string. Okay, and now there's another G on the 8th fret of the B string. A, 5th fret of the E string. And again B, 7th fret on the E string. And that's position 2. Alright, position 3, and in order to find out where to start position 3, we'll apply our little trick again by playing the notes of the major pentatonic scale on the E string. So 1, 2, 3. Third note is the B on the E string. And here's position 3. So that's position 3, and now I'll break it down. That is B, 7th fret on the E string, D, 10th fret on the E string, E, 7th fret on the A string, then our root note, which is G on the 10th fret of the A string, A, 7th fret on the D string, B, 9th fret on the D string, then we have D on the 7th fret of the G string, E on the 9th fret of the G string. Then there is, let me see, that is another G on the 8th fret of the B string. Then there is an A on the 10th fret of the B string. Then there is B again on the 7th fret of the E string. Right, so there's B again. And then we have D right here on the 10th fret of the E string. Position 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Starts on the D, 10th fret of the E string. Okay, that is D, 10th fret of the E string, E, 12th fret of the E string, our root note G, 10th fret on the A string, A, 12th fret on the A string, then there is B on the 9th fret of the D string, D, 12th fret of the D string, E, 9th fret on the G string, G, another octave on the 12th fret of the G string, and there is A, 10th fret on the B string, B, 12th fret on the B string, D, 10th fret on the E string, and again there's an E right here, 12th fret on the E string. And that's position 4. And last up here is position 5, which should look pretty familiar to most guitar players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it starts on E on the 12th fret of the E string. Perhaps you've noticed this is the exact same scale as the minor pentatonic in the key of E, and it's also down here. So if I play that same scale over an E chord or an E7, or down here, it sounds more or less like a blues scale, and that is of course because it's the minor pentatonic in the key of E. If I play it over G, then all of a sudden it's the major pentatonic scale. And the reason for this is that E minor is the relative minor to G. Now, if you want to learn how this works, for instance, you can play an A minor pentatonic scale over a C chord or in the key of C major, and it'll fit like a glove. It'll fit perfectly, and that is because A minor is the relative minor to C. The same as that B minor is relative minor to D major. You can look this up by just going to Google Images and Google up an image of the circle of fifths, and in that diagram, it's a circle diagram, you can actually see which minor keys are relative to which major keys. So if you memorize all of these 5 boxes, it's really not necessary to memorize all of the note names, but just memorize the boxes, the shapes, and how they link up together. Then basically you're going to learn your way across the maze that is the guitar's fretboard. But let's go back to position 5, and I'll break it down into little bits and pieces for you. So that is E, 12th fret on the E string, then our root note, which is G on the 15th fret of the E string. Then there is A, 12th fret on the A string, B, 14th fret on the A string, D, 12th fret on the D string, E, 14th fret on the D string, another root note, the octave, that's G, 12th fret on the G string, A, that's 14th fret on the G string, B, 12th fret on the B string, 15th fret on the B string, D, 12th fret on the E string, E, and 15th fret on the E string, G, and other root notes. You can also play it down here, which is a very comfortable position to hang out in, and then just substitute all of the 12th fret notes for the nut right here, and then you get this. Which of course is a staple for country music and pop music. Okay, so those are all of the 5 positions. Now I hope you realize that position 1 starts again where we left off, right? So on the 15th fret of the E string there's another G, and we can basically play the same box as we did on the 3rd fret and play it an octave higher. Okay, one more note about moving around these shapes. I get a lot of questions about that. If we want to play the major pentatonic scale of, let's say, A, all we have to do is just find the A on the E string, which is on the 5th fret right here, and that's where I'll play position 1. And then let's go to position 2. If we want to play the major pentatonic scale of C, what we can do is just go to C on the E string, and then that's where we'll play position 1. Right? So, and position 5 was down here. Position 5, which is the same, as I said, as A minor, right? It's relative minor. So there you have it, my lesson on the 5 shapes of the major pentatonic scale. Hope you liked it. If you did, please like, please subscribe, and please share this video as much as you can and support my channel. Thank you very much for watching. See you later. Jan-Jaap out.